Hey, I'm FTFE, and welcome back to the channel that does to stupidity what Captain Janeway did to Tuvix. You know, straight up murdered him. This will be a little different to my normal episodes, because Sleeping Warrior...
I'm a dumb flat earther, and I don't understand science.
...has done the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Dumber than Nathan Thompson saying this.
It's perfectly flat, that's why they call it sea level. Level means free of bends, curves, or irregularity. You don't see curve, right? So when you see, you're seeing straight on. So it's kind of redundant to say sea level. That is kind of an oxymoron. It's the sea. That's why you can see so far.
Dumber than Nathan Oakley saying this.
Nathan, question. You ready? How do you convert meters into kilometers?
I don't know. How do you convert meters into kilometers?
What's the correct way?
You tell me.
The correct way is divide meters by 1,000. You didn't do that.
So if you have a meter and I divide that meter by 1,000, you don't think that would give you millimeters?
Meters into kilometers, Nathan.
You just said you divide meters by 1,000 to get kilometers. So you're saying I divide something that is 1 meter long by 1,000, and that will come out to a kilometer value.
Nathan,
it sounds like you are quite literally retarded.
Dumber than anything any flat earther has ever done. Let me tell you the story of how a flat earther became a child predator and posted the evidence on the internet for episode 62 of Flerfs are Idiots.
We're living on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
Thank you for joining me once again as we wonder how evolution got it so badly wrong. Today, we're going to look at a comment made by Anthony Riley, otherwise known as Sleeping Warrior. Now, after watching enough videos and streams by Sleeping Warrior to drive a normal person insane, I consider myself an expert in Riley. It's not something I'm particularly proud of. And I can say with authority that Sleeping Warrior is the dumbest, most ignorant and most afflicted with Dunning-Kruger person on the entire planet. And what he has done is so mind-bogglingly stupid that it has surprised even me. This comment was put on one of his own videos. He is trying to say schools are bad and brainwashing kids. Let's take a look and break it down. He says, no more sus than locking them in a safe premises whilst they are brainwashed by bullshit that parents have no idea what they are being fed. So he calls schools places that kids get locked into, implies they aren't safe and says that they brainwash the kids. Well, you aren't locked into schools, they educate you, not brainwash you, and schools would be safe if it wasn't for assholes like this harassing school kids.
Research Flat Earth!
It makes sense that Sleepy Dipshit is ignorant of what is happening in schools. He clearly never went. He goes on and says this. We all know that they are fed that gravity is a force when it isn't. We know they are not told that gravity isn't a force. We know they are not told about Einstein. Riley, you have never understood about gravity, and you never will. Gravity creates a force that we can measure, a force we can test, a force that is used in everyday engineering and calculations. Kids at school don't need to know about Einstein and relativity and how that explains that gravity is mass warping space-time. Hell, even me with a physics degree barely touched on that because you don't need to know it. It doesn't make a difference to how gravity affects us. If you want to go on and study that, then fine, but for most purposes, for us here on Earth, it is a force. What was it that George Musser said?
And it's a similar thing with Newtonian gravity. We can and do, and we must think of Newtonian gravity as a force. That doesn't mean it really is, but we don't necessarily need to work at the really is level.
We know they are not told that it is contentious. We know they are not told there are better scientific explanations of gravity. That's brainwashing. It's not contentious to anyone but flat earth idiots that don't understand not to eat the purple crayon, let alone understanding Einstein's description of gravity. Oh, and when you say more scientific explanations of gravity, you mean like your experiment?
This is an egg.
Now, I'm going to ask everyone to resist the urge to punch your monitor as I read the next bit of his comment. Creeping Warrior says next, I've been targeting the kids for years. If you think that sounds dodgy, it suggests more about you than me, mate.
Excuse me, the fuck did you just say?
Yes, you fucking idiot. That sounds dodgy. What the actual fuck? Well done, you piece of shit. You just made an enemy of every parent on the planet. I would never condone violence, but you say that to the wrong person and you're going to be losing your teeth. What the hell is wrong with you? There is nothing about that comment that is okay. You need putting on a list, Riley. And he isn't finished either. When they are told that gravity isn't a force, that F equals mg always results in weightlessness because anything times 0 equals 0, and then show that the egg test, they instantly get it, and they are shown how the school cross-wires them with Newton. I'm sorry, but did you just say that F equals mg always results in weightlessness? Just a sec, I need to make a phone call. Yeah, hello, physics? Yeah, so I just wanted to ask you, does F equals mg always result in weightlessness? Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, my bad. Okay, bye. Physics says no. Look, dipshit, I know that you're trying to imply that gravity isn't a force, so part of the equation F equals mg must be 0. But that's because you are a fucking idiot. I literally hotwire that cross-wiring and send them back to their teacher to ask why they aren't told about Einstein and RDD. And when they say their teacher does not know, that's his job to teach a syllabus, they realise they are only being told a partisan introduction. So RDD is relative density disequilibrium, something that Creeping Warrior made up to try and hand wave away gravity because he thinks that density is a force. Because he's a moron.
Right, oh yeah, like the density tower, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll take the cherry tomato that's in the middle, just because it's in the middle and it's a solid. Now, what we can do is we can use any of these layers, liquid layers, and we can give them a value, right? We can call them numbers. We can call them anything that denotes like a rank. So you can call it, say, 6, and then not put units to it. Or you could put units to it, and we can call it unicorns. But we know that it's sat in a relative position, relative to the mediums that are around it. Let's give the cherry tomato, say, 5, and the medium above it is 4, and the medium below it is 6. We know that cherry tomato finds its equilibrium at the state 5 that we've called 5.
Why?
We know that if we take the cherry tomato out and put it back in again, it's going to go back to the same place. It's not going to be in 6 or 4. Sorry, it's not going to go 6 or 4. It's going to go back to 5. Agreed?
Anthony, that's a gradient of pressure.
No, it's a density gradient, Craig.
Yeah, what's it caused by?
The density itself. All the relative densities relative to themselves. Pardon?
What's density?
The amount of matter in an object.
Is density a force?
It clearly is a force. You're literally looking at it. You're literally looking at it right now, Craig.
They'll get it too. Mass times 0 equals 0. You Flerfs don't even get it. So what he is saying is that in the equation F equals mg, as g stands for gravity and he says gravity isn't a force, therefore it's a 0. But he is too stupid to realise that the g in that equation actually stands for the acceleration due to gravity, because that's just a rewriting of the most basic of physics equations, F equals ma, force equals mass times acceleration. We know that there is a downward acceleration on Earth of approximately 9.8 meters per second squared. So the equation F equals mg is actually trying to find the force due to gravity by timesing the mass of an object by the acceleration experienced on Earth, which we know is caused by gravity. Riley, when you die, the average IQ of the human race will jump by several percent. And that's the problem with brainwashing. You don't even realise you are brainwashed. You all think you are wise and intelligent, but an 11-year-old can corner you without trying now, showing how little you know about the schooling process. 11-year-olds are not taught Newtonian physics. I don't think you ever went to school, Anthony. I think you were homeschooled by a particularly retarded hamster. Best thing is, we are on there and applying the troll tactics learned on YouTube. We act as children and talk about how our teacher was cornered when we asked him these questions. So here we have a full-grown man admitting that he and others are pretending to be children to talk to children behind their parents' and teachers' backs. You're scum, Sleeping Warrior. Everyone who has ever loved you was wrong. I'm frankly jealous of all the people that haven't met you. How can you think that is okay? As a parent, I'm fucking furious. I hope you never have kids, but I don't think that will ever happen, as your personality is the best contraceptive I've ever seen. Please fuck off. And when you get there, fuck off again. So you scummy trolls will never be able to find us. It's beautiful. You just told us that you were doing it. Did your mother have any children that lived? When the time comes, you will realise it's us. But right now, just know that we are all over TikTok and telling the kids how Newton is not science anymore, that Einstein is, and both are a false dichotomy, and correlative only. The egg test is getting around and the kids get it instantly. Yeah, they get how fucking stupid you are. Every time I've spoken to a kid about the flat earth, they've said how stupid it is. Even kids think you are an idiot, Anthony Riley, and nothing you ever say will change that. I don't think I've ever been so angry at something a flat earther has said. This shows how much they lack self-awareness, because any normal, decent human would realise that this is fucked up. Sleeping Warrior, you are a child predator. You are a danger to kids. That's all that I can stomach for today. Please share this video with everyone you can. Show the world what scum Anthony Riley is. Now, just before I go, I want to give a massive shout out to all my patrons and channel members. If you are a member, you can access the special room in Discord just for you, where I'll be doing live chats and posting early versions of videos. If you want to become part of Team FTFE, then hit the join button next to the subscribe button to become a channel member, or go to www.patreon.com/FTFE to become a patron. I could not do what I do without the support you provide. Thank you. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss any videos or live streams from FTFE. And remember, stupidity is not a right. Fight the flat earth.
Fight the flat, 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 fight the flat.